वेलकम टू समा पॉडकास्ट। और डिप्लोमेट्स के साथ बातचीत की इस सीरीज़ में हम एक और बहुत ही दिलचस्प शख्सियत के साथ मौजूद हैं। पाकिस्तान में पोलैंड के सफ़ीर माची पिसार्स्की हमारे साथ स्टूडियोज़ में मौजूद हैं आज। और इनको मैंने एक दिलचस्प शख्सियत इसलिए कहा कि अमूमन सिफारतकार जो होते हैं वो दूसरे ममालिक में जाकर पाकिस्तान की या किसी भी दूसरे मुल्क के दो तरफ़ा ताल्लुकात को बेहतर से बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश में कोशा रहते हैं, मगर इनकी शख्सियत का ख़ासा ये है कि सिफारतकारी के अलावा भी पाकिस्तान के जितने भी पहलू हैं, पाकिस्तान की सकाफ़त के, पाकिस्तान के अंदरूनी जितने भी रंग हैं, ये उनको बहुत पसंद करते हैं और हमें अक्सर मुख्तलिफ़ जगहों पर भी दिखाई देते हैं, चाहे उनका ताल्लुक हेल्थ से हो, एजुकेशन से हो, कल्चर से हो, या किसी भी आप डिपार्टमेंट की बात करें, किसी वॉक ऑफ लाइफ की बात करें। माची पिसार्स्की, एम्बेसडर ऑफ पोलैंड, वेलकम टू समा पॉडकास्ट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल।
Assalamu alaikum. बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you very much for having me. I am happy to be with you and with SAMAA's viewers.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. And obviously, we'll be trying to extract best out of it because we wanted a person who can talk about Pakistan and obviously the bilateral diplomatic ties between Pakistan and Poland. So first of all, you might be taking it as a very cliche question. People usually ask this question, raise this question with the diplomats. So I'm going to raise that question first of all. How do you find Pakistan? What's your experience here?
My experience in Pakistan has been very gratifying, interesting, at times challenging, but this is life.
We'll talk about it.
But it's been very, very positive overall.
Overall. So why challenging? Let's start from that point.
Oh, different reasons. And then, well, we can start from the climate, which is quite different to my country. And especially this summer experience, it's been extraordinary.
It's heavy on even on the Pakistanis as well. We have never ever experienced this sort of harshest summer in the past. So obviously I can understand and your emotions towards climate change right now. But fetching all the points from climate change, first challenge you mentioned that I'm facing climate change issues and its impact in Pakistan. So just for your information, that we recently had, it's almost a year or so, that we had the hardest floods in Pakistan. That was devastating on many, and millions were homeless, and still we are trying to cope up with that. So how do you see Pakistan, the minimum carbon producer, or probably a zero carbon producer? So still Pakistan is going through all this. How do you rate that?
Well, that's the nature of the challenge, which is the climate change. Because climate change does not know any borders. I mean, this is a global phenomenon, and we are all dependent on it. So I think that only joint action can somehow allow us to meet those challenges. But it's not only Pakistan, and I can tell you that also in my country, in Poland, we have experienced the palpable evidence of the climate change. The weather became very violent. We have experienced heat waves, maybe not such high temperatures like in Pakistan, but still very unusual, uncommon phenomena. So I think that this can be a platform. This can create a platform for joint actions, bilaterally, but mostly multilaterally, because no country singularly can solve challenge like those of the climate change.
Excellency, we'll be talking about many points today, but the first thing that comes to my mind, because Pakistan is, after climate change, there is another issue that is very common for Poland and Pakistan. If we look at the seriousness of the nature, Pakistan is dealing with a very dangerous border, and I'm talking about Pakistan and Afghanistan border, 2,600 kilometer long, and filled up with all sorts of challenges for the forces, from the forces to common people like who are living inside the borders. But we are seeing the impact of this porous, dangerous border. We still were able to cope up with many challenges after we built this fence on the whole border. But still, how do you see that? How do you narrate the story that is happening in Poland and like Belarus? You are also facing infiltration and illegal crossings and things like that. So tell us something about that.
Well, we are talking about here about another global phenomenon, which is the increased tensions between major actors. We are talking about deepening in instability and then tensions between countries. So that all translates into much more volatile, much more unpredictable and dangerous international environment. So yes, this is a global phenomenon. But you're right. This phenomenon has had the kind of regional incarnations, if I may put it that way. In case of Poland, that would be first and foremost this unprovoked illegal war of aggression against Ukraine by the Russian Federation that has impacted Poland's sense of security a great deal. Also exerted lots of costs in terms of human experience, in terms of the economy, but also another global phenomenon, which is this huge migration waves, and we have experienced over the last 3 years a very tense situation on the Polish-Belarusian border. I have just learned that there have been more than 100,000 attempts of illegal crossing.
It is huge.
It's huge. Huge. Because we are talking here about an organized and facilitated effort basically to destabilize the European Union. And this is some sort of the hybrid war. We call it in this current parley of political experts, foreign policy experts. So this is using this kind of natural desires or reasons on behalf of many people who have found themselves in a dire situation to seek a better life in a different place, and take this and use it as an instrument in a political struggle.
Exactly.
And this is very disturbing.
So how do you compare the both situations of Poland and Pakistan? Because when I usually see reports from EU countries or other countries, when Pakistan talks about sending back the illegally residing foreigners in Pakistan. Let's go around about it. So when it's about Pakistan's step about sending them back to their home countries, Pakistan comes under criticism that why they are evicting people or they are asking people forcibly to go back, when you can truly correlate that no country allows any foreigner or any illegally person who's trying to cross border illegally or coming into a country or living there. So how do you compare that situation with Pakistan? Now do you see that Pakistan is right in doing so, or what's your idea on that?
Well, I see a certain parallels, of course. First is that both our countries have experience of being in the neighborhood of a major military conflict, and that creates certain unwanted or certain challenges.
Challenges. Yes.
That's number one. Number two, you're right. Serious countries should be in a position to manage their borders, and should exercise this power of deciding who is let in or not. because of different reasons. Of course, there are also differences, and the differences really stemmed from the regional situations. In case of Poland, we have admitted millions of Ukrainians refugees.
Yep.
People, fleeing from a country which became basically a target of an aggression, and they've been, welcomed with open hearts and open doors. We still have around 1 million of those refugees. They enjoy all rights related to the access of the labor market, health system, or educational system. Of course, it has put some costs, some burdens on our institutions.
It does, exactly, because we have almost 40 years of experience of having Afghan
much
refugees.
Longer than we do. Much longer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but then the phenomenon I mentioned before, this illegal crossing of the Polish-Belarusian border, is a little bit different, because that wave is organized, is facilitated by states in our neighborhood, basically by allowing people to come to their countries quite easily, legally, on their visas. Exactly. And they just shown the direction to the Polish border, which is basically the first European Union's border, and we know that Poland is not their final destination.
It's a gateway to EU.
It is a gateway, but we are first. So it also shows you how geography can be very tricky, how geography can change, because this is not a natural, if you wish, these are not natural routes that people or migrants have taken for many years to Europe. This is quite new. This is a little bit off the beaten path of the migration routes, and completely artificially created crisis.
Right. It's very interesting, because I found so many similarities between like having these cases as a study for both the countries, because we are also facing the same thing on the borders. We are trying to curb on this infiltration and human smuggling and every sort of smuggling, and that's why Pakistan is right now discussing the curb on illegal spectrum in Pakistan, because it is affecting almost every walk of life of Pakistan, specifically economy. Because you mentioned economy, and having millions of people as refugees, or people who are living in the disguise of refugees, enjoying every facility, because you might not have seen such examples in other countries, that all the refugees, they are allowed to go anywhere in Pakistan. They can have their properties, they can live a life like every Pakistani is living. So my second question would be, probably you will find it very interesting. Pakistan and Poland, they are not enjoying a very good tie when it comes to trade and business. Why?
Well, I wouldn't say so.
It's our mistake, or it's your mistake?
No. I think that's that's a way of of perceiving it. It's I agree with you that there is much more that we can do. It's not a huge exchange of trade, although it's on the rise systematically. We are inching closer to 1 billion of trade between our countries. The challenge from our perspective is that $800,000 of that is the Pakistani export to Poland. So we have a huge trade deficit with Pakistan. Because the Pakistani exporters enjoy facilitated access to the European single market The instrument is called GSP Plus.
GSP Plus. You stole my question, Excellency.
Yeah. So this is this is the GSP Plus in the workings, and because Poland is a part of a greater European market, and then the same rules apply everywhere within the European Union. So we are, we are having this increasing presence of the Pakistani exporters. That's okay. That is good. So my job would be to make sure that that we are doing more on the Polish side to make the presence of Polish companies more visible here, and this is what we have been trying to do.
So, do we have any exchange programs between Pakistan and Poland for youth, for culture, for anything? Like, if you can mention a few.
Well, we don't have a kind of established programs per se. Pakistani students can travel to Poland to study, like everywhere in the European Union in this regard. So there is no discrimination.
Okay.
So that's kind of organic movement, I would say, yeah.
So what's the problem right now? We hear a lot of stories and a lot of complaints from the Pakistani youth and people who are applying for Polish visa. So why Poland is lagging behind in issuing visas to Pakistanis in specific, if I ask you? What are the hurdles?
I don't know if we are lagging behind, because I don't, if we would have to analyze every country by country and then draw. I think we are not lagging behind in this regard. Well, the main problem, as we see it, is that we have a very limited capacity of processing the applications. Okay. Our consular section is way understaffed comparing to the demand. So we are working towards making it more efficient, making it more transparent, and also crafting in such a way that it would allow those applicants who have legitimate reasons to travel to Poland for business or for education to have a chance to do this. Okay. The problem now is that we have been flooded with lots of applications, very often not credible. And then so there is little space for those who have good reasons, and and we would love to have them in Poland to even apply for the visa. That's the challenge we are facing. But we have undertaken certain steps, and I'm hopeful that the situation will improve soon.
And what if I ask you a question that who exactly applies for Poland's visa? So how would you sum it up? That what is the chunk from Pakistan society that actually is interested in Poland?
Well, I would not surprise you if I tell you that there is a lot of demand on the working visas.
Working visa, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So they want employment over there.
Right, and then of course students visa. Okay. But there is an increasing number of tourist visa that we that we are very happy to see.
So you are easy in issuing visas to the people, and if you can easily tell us the number that how many visas are being issued per month or per week or per day, if it's easy for you.
Oh, I don't have those statistics on me, but
I hope they are in a good bracket. You are not rejecting our visas.
No. I mean, it's it's been really. I mean, we can sense that there has been an increase in the visa applications over the last months, so to say. And as I said, we have only limited capacities to process them. But I think what is very important to remember, and if I may take this opportunity a little bit to advise your viewers on this, is that it is very important to make sure that the stated reason for visiting a country like Poland, for instance, fully corresponds with the actual reasons to do this, and the legal construction of visa is such that the applicant has to prove that this is the case.
That's the case.
That's,
I'm going for
so
this.
So the burden of the proof is on the applicant side. This is number one. Number two, and this is, I am very sorry to say it, but we have been made aware that there are fake internet sites, people pretending to act on behalf of the Polish embassy.
Okay.
There are fake internet sites.
Okay.
With phone numbers. They, for instance, collect money for making an appointment.
Okay.
We would never do this.
For visas.
For visas, we would never do this.
It's just an appointment for visa, or actually they are claiming to get visa for them?
I don't know exactly, because my knowledge is here very limited.
You must keep sharing with these facts with the Pakistani authorities.
Yes, we are.
So they take any action on that?
We have been in a very productive conversation, let me put it that way. So, there is a lot of irregularities around this, this process. And we are very sorry that people, honest people, hardworking people, are falling victims of this malicious, practices. So it's very important to make sure that that people apply to the right place.
Okay.
As I said, we would never collect money for making an appointment, and so I know that such practices are in place.
So we can easily say that, Excellency, from this platform, we are having you at our studios right now, the ambassador of Poland himself, because for us, you are not just a representative, you are representing on behalf of every head of your state and head of your government. For us, you are the government of Poland. Yes. So we can easily say that if documents are factual, correct, and not forged, everyone is welcome to apply for Poland's work visa or tourist visa or any other sort of thing.
Well, if the reason is legitimate and documents are meeting
the criteria,
the criteria, yes.
Okay. So,
although, as I said, this is always a decision of a consul. This is not a decision of an ambassador.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a very important factual distinction.
That's very fine. So I'll try to explain it in Urdu for the viewers as well, because it's very important.
Yes, it is.
We see a lot of people, specifically our youth, applying for the visa for any of the European countries. So I think it's very important for them.
Yes.
तर्जुमा साथ एम्बेसडर का चल भी रहा होगा जो वो बातचीत करें, मगर यहाँ बहुत अहम एक बात जो है पहुँचाना अब तक ज़रूरी है. एम्बेसडर ने भी ये बात की कि पिछले कुछ अरसे में वीज़ाज़ की दरख्वास्तें बहुत आ रही हैं, तो उसके लिए उनका कहना ये है कि अगर आप नहीं चाहते कि आपका वीज़ा रिजेक्ट हो पोलैंड के लिए, क्योंकि बदकिस्मती से कुछ लोगों ने उनके एम्बेसी में फोर्ज डॉक्यूमेंट, नकली डॉक्यूमेंट भी जमा कराए हैं. फिर कुछ ऐसे लोगों के ज़रिए भी अपॉइंटमेंट लेने की कोशिश की गई है कि जिनको पोलिश एम्बेसी ने ऑथराइज़ ही नहीं किया. तो वो ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि इसमें काफ़ी मसाइल आपको आ सकते हैं. और मेरे ख़्याल में एज अ जर्नलिस्ट भी जो फॉरेन अफेयर्स कवर करते हैं या डिप्लोमेटिक कोर को, न सिर्फ ऐसे लोगों की एप्लीकेशन मुस्तरद होती है, बल्कि वो ब्लैक लिस्ट भी कर दिए जाते हैं अक्सर, ताकि आइंदा वो एम्बेसी के सामने गलत या नकली दस्तावेज़ात जमा ना कराएं. तो आप में से जो भी एक इस इंतहाई खूबसूरत मुल्क जाना चाह रहा है, चाहे विज़िट के लिए, चाहे सेटल होने के लिए या वर्क वीज़ा के लिए, तो आप लोग अपने दस्तावेज़ात जो हैं उस पर खुसूसी तवज्जो दीजिए, उनको नकली बनाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. सो एक्सलेंसी, अनदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, व्हाट यू थिंक इज़ बेस्ट इन पाकिस्तान इफ़ यू आर इन्वाइटिंग योर बिजनेस कम्युनिटी टू इन्वेस्ट इन पाकिस्तान?
What is best? You mean in terms of
business, trade?
Okay.
It's that difficult for you to think about it?
No. I'm just I'm trying to get the right answer, and I think that there is a right answer, and then I think that the best are the people.
Yeah.
Very hardworking, imaginative business persons that we have met on numerous occasions. They are very interested in having partners from the abroad, including also Poland. They are risk takers. That's what I like very much. and very imaginative. Also, their skills of adaptation are just great.
So, do we have any example that in the past or currently Polish government or government of Poland they have been seeking any skilled labor from Pakistan?
We are not in a process of actively seeking skilled labor. I mean, this is we leave it up to particular companies, which then can have some partners or needs to employ certain people. This is not These are not governmental programs. But we have been also bringing Polish business people to Pakistan and to showcase for them the opportunities of doing business in this country. And this is what we would like to concentrate our activities, and at the embassy. I can give you an example. Last May we had a business mission composed by a group of young entrepreneurs from Poland who have developed some interesting solutions, technological solutions to issues that we have talked about, like related to climate change, for instance, water treatment, water storage, desalination, treatment also of all sorts of wastes. I mean, industrial wastes, smart cities, and all these things. So we brought them over here. We went to Karachi and Lahore. We had very fruitful meetings with respective chambers of commerce. And the people, Polish business people, could have a first-hand experience in, meeting and dealing and talking to the Pakistani business people. I think this is the best way to promote trade or investment relations. And the governments can only do so much to create a space, to create an opportunity for people to meet, and this is up to them to decide whether they can find a common interests and pursue some common projects.
Excellency, another question regarding that revolves around GSP Plus, and it comes to my mind, it comes to everyone's mind that when we talk about GSP Plus status. Recently, we saw clarification as well from the EU mission in Pakistan and abroad. But usually, a majority number of Pakistanis, they think that GSP Plus status is always very crucial for Pakistan, for the Pakistani products to reach EU markets. But why it's usually getting connected to the human rights situation? Sometimes it's a human rights situation, sometimes it's some other complaint, sometimes it's the Afghan refugees, the representatives of EU, they have objections on certain Pakistan's internal matters. So do you think that these reasons, they widen the gap between people of EU and people of Pakistan? So the people-to-people contact is getting affected due to, and obviously GSP Plus status is getting affected due to some internal matters of Pakistan. How would you comment about it?
All right, that's an excellent question. I need to make a small remark that we don't deal with GSP Plus on the daily basis. This is the job of our colleagues from the EU delegation. But I have my own opinion, and then I can share that opinion with you. Let me start with saying that the European Union is by far the largest destination for the Pakistani exports. This is over $8 billion dollars of value of
and we are very proud of it, by the way.
So 8 billion. So it's the biggest recipient of Pakistani exports. Number one. Number two, GSP Plus. Of course, it shapes the trade relationship between the European Union, which acts as a single body in this regard, and the countries who participate in that program, including Pakistan. But this is also an instrument of a development policy of the European Union. Development, that means that through this instrument, we would like to help establish better standards for human rights, protection of labor, for instance, exclusion of the child labor, and basically encourage the authorities who are beneficiary of that program to increase the level of adherence to the international treaties, which these countries are part of it voluntarily. We are not asking as a European Union about some extra effort. We are asking about implementing the treaties which have been voluntarily adopted by the countries in question. And this is basically for the benefit of the people of those countries. It is not about satisfying our kind of, I don't know what, ambitions, or this is basically about making sure that through business interaction, through trade, we can also increase the condition, the level of the legal protection of vulnerable people. We can increase for instance, the social conditions of the workers in the factories. We can make sure that that children do not work. They should be at schools. And another very important factor is acting against all discrimination based on gender or any other religion. So it is basically also an instrument of upgrading the standards. So this is not against the Pakistani people. This is, I would say, for the Pakistani people. We are trying to be creative, to find a certain to encourage basically the authorities and the business community to stick to their obligations, basically.
So my last question, and it ends the podcast with a very interesting question. Would be interesting for you. What's your favorite food in Pakistan? Because we definitely ask this question and it is a very pertinent question, because a diplomat comes from a very different home ground, and he has to get adjusted with a lot of things, and the food is on top priority of everyone. So what do you like the most?
Well, I know we are entering here very treacherous waters.
Exactly. So.
No, I mean, yes, the Pakistani food is...
the food that haunts you the most in Pakistan, and the food you love,
Well, I mean, okay, let me say that, of course, food is a very important part of the
any culture.
Any country, daily experience, and it's very important part of exploration, this very rich heritage, cultural heritage that Pakistan has developed over millennia, because we are talking about very, very long time. So I am cognizant about the differences between the food from KP,
we have a wide
Punjabi
range.
food.
We have a wide range.
Right. Yes. So, well, there is one a very important, very, I would say, very delicate issue, that is the spiciness.
We have two provinces after that, and one dish is biryani. And Punjab says that we are famous in making our biryani, and the Sindh side says we are the best at biryani. And being Pakistani, we are still trying to figure out who's the best at it.
Well, so, of course, biryani is a thing of national pride in Pakistan. Exactly. So, yeah, so I will give my due respect to
biryani everywhere.
But okay, but you have fantastic fruits.
Yes.
Excellent. I think honestly that Pakistani mango. I mean, it's
mango
amazing.
enjoy the status of a king, you know, in
Yes,
Pakistan.
yes, and rightly so.
We call it
rightly so.
king of fruits.
King of fruits. So this we enjoy very, very much. We enjoy all sorts of barbecue. I like barbecue. I'm carnival, so.
So barbecue derived from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or you tasted it somewhere else in Pakistan? Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Because it's less spicy.
It's less spicy.
And then it.
यहाँ मैं पठान होने के नाते बहुत खुश हो सकती हूँ. Yes, KP1.
And the point is that if you use a little less spicy.
Yeah.
Spices, then you can extract the flavor, natural flavor,
to
better.
its fullest.
Yeah. If this is all about chili, then this is all about chili, and chili is chili.
Chili is always chili, you know. Be it if it's of any color, it would always remain chili. So, Ambassador, thank you very much for your time, and obviously it's not the last conversation with you. We'll be inviting you again and again. Because you are in Islamabad and in Pakistan, so definitely we'll always have a chance of an opportunity of talking to you, conversing with you. We have a wide range of diplomatic affairs and foreign affairs, so you are the best person on behalf of Poland to talk about all of them. Thank you very much for your precious time once again, and if you want to say a note to the viewers.
No, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation, and then I'm happy to to reach out to the Pakistani people, also using the opportunity like this. So बहुत शुक्रिया.
आपका भी शुक्रिया. आपका बहुत शुक्रिया.
And फिर मिलेंगे.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. इंशाल्लाह फिर ज़रूर मिलेंगे. ये थे सफ़ीर पोलैंड के पाकिस्तान में एक्सीलेंसी पिसार्स्की, और यकीनन आपको कुछ ऐसे सवालात का जवाब ज़रूर मिला होगा जिनके मुतालिक, जैसे एम्प्लॉयमेंट है वहाँ पे पोलैंड में, वीज़ा के इश्यूज़ थे, और यूरोपियन यूनियन के एक मुल्क, ज़िम्मेदार मुल्क होने की हैसियत से अक्सर पाकिस्तान के अंदरूनी मसाइल के हवाले से जो बात की जाती है उस पर भी हमने बात की, कोशिश की कि उनके जवाब आप तक पहुँचाएँ. बहुत शुक्रिया. इसी सीरीज़ के अगले किसी और एपिसोड में किसी और सफ़ीर बराए पाकिस्तान आपसे दोबारा मुलाकात होगी. अपना ख्याल रखिए. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.